Meanwhile, at the Hall of Doom.
Oh my God. Good evening. Welcome. It's another episode of KMP Presents.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Portia.
How y'all doing this evening?
Yes, happy Monday.
It is Monday.
We have gotten back to our normal.
Y'all, it's Monday.
You know, it's
Monday.
And you need a drink. So grab your drink and join us.
Now come on,
okay?
come on.
Yes, come on.
Okay, so my first topic is actually to you, and I haven't even talked to you about this.
Okay,
because you're a teacher, and y'all know you've been watching all your comrades beat up these students. So
my comrades, I don't know them.
All your united teachers.
We ain't all united like that. If I don't know you, I don't know you.
What are your thoughts about that though? Because the one baby where it happened in Kiel.
The black lady.
Yeah.
Is that the one where she pulled her out of the desk?
Yeah, that baby has brain injuries and had, I believe, seizures or epilepsy prior to that happening, and now they are recurring.
No.
Now see,
I didn't know that. I need to be better at following stories.
My sister Sharon,
I'm not that.
She was like, "Well, your first reaction is normally to fight back when somebody hits you." I was like, "Okay."
It depends on the environment.
And that's what I would.
It depends on the environment.
This is why.
Even with you, when it's coming into confrontation with two adults, it still depends on the environment. Now, I'm not about to fight another teacher in the school if I have a problem with you, because that's not the type of environment that should be happening in. I'm not even going to have a conversation.
But if they hit you, what you going to do? What if they hit you, what you going to do in that environment?
I'm going to protect myself. You hit me first, self-defense.
And see, what I said was she could have restrained. She could have restrained that baby. I feel like in any situation, you have to be the adult when you're the adult.
Because what I heard was that she hit her first, right? The student.
From the look of it, it looked like she hit her first.
Okay, because to me, it just looked like she went swinging. The teacher just went swinging on the baby, so I don't know. I thought it just all derived.
Angry,
her
honey.
Reaction derived from her using racial slurs and just taunting her and calling her out of her name. Girl. Which, if it's just words, you definitely should react to that. But if you're protecting yourself and somebody hits you, specifically a student, the first thing you need to do is walk away.
No, I'm not, that's what I'm not going to do, because then you be done through a desk at me.
Well,
but I will restrain.
I ain't never had nothing that intense.
Because you deal with little babies.
Yeah, so and then these kids these days, you just never know. So I'm just trying to avoid those situations. But I feel like she was completely wrong.
I do too.
Like,
that's what I said.
I'm not condoning violence with students.
She fought
at all.
Her.
Yes,
like,
she didn't have to do that.
Square up fight.
Like, she yanked her out of the whole desk.
She stomped her.
She stomped her head.
One
time I saw.
Stomped her. That blew my mind. I'm like, that is a. Yeah. I don't want to put my children into school. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I've said this before. I don't want my children going to school. I would prefer to homeschool my children. I love the daycare that they're at, the preschool, because I can go walk in and out as freely as I want to. I know the director very well. I know the assistant director very well. But seeing that, and it's not just that one instance, it's multiple instances that this keeps occurring.
Yeah. That's why I'm so happy
hit my child, because we're gonna have to square up. We are gonna fight. Don't even call the cops. Don't even call. Just don't. I'm on my way. I'm on the way.
I'm the same way though. We gonna fight.
Something's about to hit my baby.
Like, no. And then she's suffering from other medical conditions.
I think the baby is still in the hospital.
That's not okay. And if never mind.
Oh, you see that out front? Ah!
Never mind.
Yes. Give a little luck.
Okay, Marita. But yeah, I don't condone it at all. I don't think it was right. Being that she was in her desk, once again, the environment, she was not in an unsafe situation. She could have still walked away.
Exactly.
She was at her desk talking mess, sitting down.
Exactly.
You could have walked away. You could have went to the other side of the room, text somebody.
Do they still have hall
know.
monitors? Is that still in the schools? In the high schools?
Not in my school.
Would
They make the kids, the 4th graders, be like safety patrol for certain stuff. But once again, I'm in early elementary, so I don't know how middle school and high school does. But we don't have hall monitors at all. It's if you have a pass, it shows that you are authorized to be in the hallway. Period.
I just feel like that there's better ways to, and I'm saying this with an educator, I feel like there are better ways to handle any kind of situation with a child.
You can text for support. You can walk away. You can
put them out the class.
De-escalate if you know de-escalating skills and strategies for students. There's different ways.
Do they teach y'all that?
To a certain extent, we have like professional developments and things on it, like with SAMA training and stuff to kind of calm students in certain situations. But when it gets to a certain level, you do have to step away. And as a substitute teacher or a teacher or educator, period, you should know when it's time to walk away.
That's
like
right,
if she's talking mess, text the principal or text whatever support line you're supposed to text when it comes to those situations versus taking it upon yourself. That's not okay.
I'm with you.
Now, when we talk about school, this is a heavy topic for me that has just blown me away. But the Alexis Crawford situation at my alma mater, Clark Atlanta University, with the young lady who was murdered by her best friend.
Well, I don't know if she was her best friend. She was her roommate.
That's what they keep saying. That's
what
that's her best friend, her roommate. The girl Jordan used to go to holidays with the baby and spend time with her family, and I've seen a lot of posts like you really have to be cautious and aware of who you call your friends. Like that's a really good example of like you can't call everybody your friends, because that was crazy. Like you saw I was posting because we thought it was sex trafficking. The baby got abducted by a sex traffic. I didn't.
I knew. I mean, from because the very first post that they did, because there was already an open, what do you call it, record against the boy, but they said
for sexual assault on her.
Right, but see, this is what they
had
said.
Other charges as well.
They wouldn't say why there was a case. They were like, it's separate from the incident. That's why she didn't want to be in the room. And I'm like,
that doesn't in the living room.
Exactly. I said that doesn't make sense. Something happened in that place for her to not want to be in there. So whatever that report was, and to come to find out, it was the dude that sexually assaulted her. I don't, young ladies and young men, keep your hands to yourself. First of all, no means no. Someone doesn't want you. They don't want you. It's just that simple. It may hurt your ego, it may hurt your feelings, but you walk away from it. But for the young lady who continued to be in a relationship with him, who of course now they're both in jail, probably for the rest of their lives because they sure deserve it.
Hope so.
Why would you stand by and allow your boyfriend to sexually assault your best friend?
But was she there when that occurred?
I wouldn't care if she wasn't. You know, she filed the suit. You know, something happened where she don't want to be home no more.
I agree.
There's nothing. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna stick by anybody that's like that under any Rodney Reed. Remind me later about Rodney Reed because I was.
Oh yes. But that situation was very, very sad. And then to push it even further, like she was posting like all the lost and found posts. So you thinking she's just as concerned and worried as everyone else, and you know exactly what happened. So question existing is like, what conversations were in between that time that allowed for you to be in the act of murdering your best friend with your boyfriend? Like, I know I've seen
driving the body up to another.
Right, I've seen multiple posts because I went to school in Atlanta, so it's everywhere on my it was everywhere on my Instagram and Facebook. But like, was she forced to do this because he is maybe aggressive, or was it something that was partnered between them in agreement because maybe she's jealous because he wanted her, or like what really?
And you know what? Don't do that, because that's gonna give them some kind of little bit. That's what they're gonna try to do. They're gonna try to fight it, where she's gonna be like, he forced me to do it. I didn't have a choice, and because of his record, quote me, and because of his record, it's gonna look as if that he is the forcible type, and he did make her do it, and she had nothing to do with it, so she can get off scot-free. Bull. You knew what occurred. Between all that time, you could have dialed 911, you could have called somebody, you could have turned him in. So you're not going to sit here and tell me somebody scared you that bad to where you couldn't report to someone your mama, daddy, cousin, brother, the homeless man on the street to say, hey, he killed this girl.
Right.
If he did it by himself. I think they did that together.
Did they both confess at the same time, though?
I don't know how to confess. I just know they both essentially came clean eventually.
Well, touching on Rodney Reed before we get into our lovely guest we have tonight, I know you went to the rally here in Austin. I had a game for Mike. I would have loved to join, but
hey, sissy,
I haven't really been completely following the story. I know the surface of what's going on, but I know they've extended because it's supposed to be this week. It's
supposed to be
or next.
It's today the 20th. What's today's date? It's supposed to be 2 days from today. Actually, he's supposed to be executed
this week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got an indefinite stay, so he will not be executed at all.
So they're not gonna release him though.
They haven't yet, but normally when this happens, when they do the stay of execution, that normally means they're gonna have to do another trial to show evidence, and then he'll be released. Because essentially you're holding him for something
how
that he.
How long does that take? Like another year, 2 years?
Man, been in jail
5?
for what, 20?
He lost his whole life over something.
Years?
It sounds like he didn't do. Like
he didn't.
Crazy.
He and I stand behind the Reed family when I say that, because Bastrop is super, super, super racist. I'm just gonna be honest. My entire family has been there since as far back as the first census goes. So we're talking about like the 1800s. It's a racist little town. People that live there know it. They kind of abide. It's almost like it's kind of segregated, but not really. You can't accuse a cop of killing someone and thinking that that's just going to be okay. They're going to protect their own. They are. That's what they do, and it's okay. Because I'm going to protect my own too. But if you're wrong, like murdering wrong and raping wrong, you need to get under the jail. You don't have to stay. I don't even want you around me.
He needs to be accountable.
And then he went to jail. The guy went to jail for
assault, right?
And rape.
Oh wow.
So it's like,
well, that speaks a lot.
But anywho, yes. So I guess I am okay. You can introduce Melanie because I know y'all got y'all little history. Okay. So we have. Can I say Mrs. or Doctor? Can I say Doctor, Mrs. Doctor? LaTashia. Yeah. So when I met LaTashia, I was 20 something. It's a couple of years ago.
You're not that old.
I'm not. I was 20 something though. I don't remember exactly. But we worked together at Brackenridge, that no longer exists, and we worked the night shift. It was dope because she was one of the, I think it was maybe 4 black nurses. I think it was only 4. And I maybe extended it by 1. 4 black nurses in the ER. And I gravitated to her because once she ran track, she went to UT, which blew my mind because I didn't think black people went to UT. And you ran Texas Relays, right? She ran Texas Relays.
Oh, you're a track star.
I ran track. So it's like, those are all things that was like cool, but it's dope because I've been able to, since, leaving Bragg, we're still Facebook friends. I've still been following her. And she just recently graduated with her doctorate in nursing. And you teach at UT. And she teaches at, like that's, she's like black girl magic personified. And then her little girl, little Virginia, she's full of personality and so amazing. So I'm super, super, super stoked to have her on for that, and just because, like I just said, she's literally like black girl magic personified. Like she's somebody to look up to in my personal opinion. So I'm excited that she came out with us tonight.
Awesome. So we also have Melanie Holst. Yeah, I'm saying that Holst Collins. And she's from what I've saw and known, I've never been able to take one of her classes, but we actually met initially at Lily Shepherd's dance. One of her dance, Twerk and Burn. Because a girl like to twerk. That's my thing.
She likes to twerk.
I like to shake my ass.
She's a twerker.
So I initially met her there, and she just has a great spirit. And then I'm sure you've seen her around Austin. She's all over the place with her business. Then she does yoga, which is amazing. She's a yoga instructor. And then she has a plethora of other things that she's doing, from her Full Ass Human t-shirt line, which I can't wait to hear more about that because I've seen it on your Instagram and like the little tags that you've been leaving around
and
the city. Her cards. Yes. And she had the cards that she has.
She did mine, right? At the Black Makers Market?
No.
We did
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, all in all, this is a dope girl, and I can't wait to have her on so you can get more. But we're basically mixing the two, like spirituality and
health,
and health, and bringing it all together, because I feel like when you know more about yourself internally, you're able to become more of yourself externally. Amen. In addition to being on top of it, investing in your health, making sure all of that is well. And our season is all about healthy AF. So this is a perfect duo or blend.
It's a great blend.
So we're excited to have both of them on. We're going to take a few minutes to get them together, but check out their social media, which we'll post, and you can get to know them a little bit better as well. We're excited to bring them on. So hang tight. We'll be right back.
We did good. Every time we come live, I'm taking a sip. I need to do better.
Girl.
Do
better.
Give me an intro, baby.
So my name is LaTashia Kiel. I am a nurse, first of all. I am a professor at the School of Nursing at UT. I have to be honest. So I'm the CEO and director of the Kiel Colon Cancer Foundation that my husband and I founded back in 2015. I'm a house supervisor for the Seton family of hospitals, so I manage 11 hospitals in our network. I'm also an emergency room nurse. I've been an emergency room nurse for about 12 years, and I really enjoy taking care of patients, so I still continue to do that. And I'm currently in the process of opening a clinic along with our so I'm hoping that'll be opening at the beginning of the new year. So yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces that kind of are going on right now.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Watch out now.
Come on, Married to Medicine, Austin. Right.
Hello.
Come on, bring it in. Bring it on in.
So I actually didn't get to tell you this, but what month are we in? November? So 19 months ago, my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Really?
And actually, nobody really knows that. It's probably the first time people even hear it, because my dad was. Of course.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it happened while I was pregnant, and it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember Peter, my cousin, was talking about the Kiel Foundation and the Blue Shoe Gala thing or whatever. So I was telling my daddy, I was like, well, Daddy, you know, I know somebody that can, if we need more information, I can go to her, I can ask questions or whatever. But he has since beaten. He is
Praise God.
strong. Yes, he got it all removed. They caught it very early. That early detection is
Key.
key. I cannot stress that enough, y'all. It is so key, early detection. If he was just like a regular checkup.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like a, hey, I feel bad. It was, hey, this is what's going on, and I'm gonna see how it happens, and that's how they found it, detected it. But I'm grateful for it because I did read tidbits and stuff on your website.
So wait, so how was he when he went in for the checkup?
It was his yearly.
How old was he though?
60. Okay, he was born in 55.
Okay.
So almost 2 years ago. So that would make him
Over 50 though?
He was over 50. Yeah.
Okay.
So they told me it wasn't hereditary because it was over. Because I was nervous, of course. They were like, no, it's not hereditary because it's more than likely like led by like life versus it being like a hereditary thing.
Okay. The reason I asked that is because so colon cancer is a disease that is being more commonly diagnosed in people younger and younger ages.
Really?
I mean, so much so that the American Cancer Society came out this year and kind of just urging the politicians to change like insurance companies' policies around screening because initially the screening was supposed to be started at age 50 and so they're like, no, I think we need to start screening people at age 45 because it's becoming more and more prevalent. And so that's why I was just kind of like, when did they screen him?
He was like, I think he maybe just 59, 60.
Okay.
Right around that time.
Yeah.
Because it was in April.
Yeah.
It was literally like a month before Dylan was born, so he hadn't even made it. Yeah. So he might have been like right at 59, getting ready to turn 60.
Okay. And that's awesome because people who look like us are not going in to get screened and tested for that. So for them to be able to catch it and to catch it early is a great thing, especially seeing that it's one of the only cancers that's beatable, treatable, and preventable. So
I didn't.
Colon cancer?
Yeah.
The only.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I did not know that.
You know, my uncle that passed away to cancer, he had multiple different types of cancer, but colon was one of them. And he went too late, and then it was already very aggressive.
Yeah.
And it triggered other forms of cancer. I don't really know. But
a lot of times, once it gets to a certain point, it keeps growing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cancer, like what it is. So cancer literally is a cell that is decided to stop doing its function, and all it does is it makes copies of itself. And so depending on where it originates, so let's say for example it's your liver, so now you have this cancer cell that literally all I'm gonna do is just continue to make copies of myself, and the copies gonna make copies, and those copies gonna make copies, and it takes away from the actual liver cells that need to do the work that the liver does. And so once it gets to the point where all you have are these cancer cells, now you just have a liver that doesn't work.
And it's just trying to fight it, but it's too late to try to fight the battle.
Yeah. And that's all cancer really is. I mean, that's very simply putting it.
Right.
But it's just such a deadly disease. And again, for the colon cancer, it can be treated if it's caught early. When my mother-in-law, which is the reason we started our nonprofit in the first place, when she was originally diagnosed, she was diagnosed at stage 4, which at that point is nothing they can do.
Right.
So.
And that's scary. And it seems like cancer dominates specifically our community. Like I have my uncle, and then his son, which is my younger cousin, that died to cancer at 23. Your grandmother died to cancer. Do you have anybody that died to cancer? It just seems like it's very prevalent in the black community.
Nancy, my
grandmother.
Nancy
Your grandmother?
Was like 3 years older than me. Died from ovarian cancer. Or I think it was cervical, then ovarian, or ovarian, then cervical.
It grew into something else.
And it's so scary because I've had, you guys know I talk about my health stuff all the time. One of the main reasons why when I started having the GI issues, why I was so like, I gotta go to the doctor, I need to get this seen, I need a gastrointestinal doctor, which they are so hard to get into in Austin. I don't know why it's so hard to get in with a GI doctor, but because of those situations, because of what my dad had, I was like, I mean, I don't want it to be a possibility, and I'm ignoring it. You know, and thankfully I found a super dope doctor. Shout out to you. God, I love Dr. Will. Because he's did the work And I talked about that last time, that a lot of the times we go to the doctor and we don't know what to ask for. We don't know how to really advocate for ourselves. We don't know to say, hey, this hurts. And and working in the emergency room, I will tell y'all this. The only job for the emergency room to do is to make sure you're not dying. And if you're not in imminent death, you can go home. So I know people treat it as like a regular doctor or clinic, but you don't have to. But when you're having those pains, it's a reason why they tell you to follow up, because those are the doctors that can get the test done to see what's going on, and a lot of people don't do that. For me, being in the atmosphere where I've seen people come in, people that I personally know that have died, and just, I don't play around with my health. I go, I ask questions. I'm not even finna, it's not even finna be, well, maybe, no. I'm finna go in, give me the soonest appointment. He can't see me, give me somebody else, because like I said, I know that early detection is like, it's what it is. And I personally haven't had cancer, praise God. I hope it stays that way. But to be able to watch someone that you knew and grew up with die from cancer, it was like
they deteriorate. You just watch them from the stage of them having it, and then like just deteriorate over time. They look nothing like themselves. Yeah. It's a horrible experience. Horrible. And I've been through it twice. It's horrible. I don't wish that on anybody. But for myself, I'm always like, is that a lump? Is that a bump? Like, but for us, for women, we don't get checked for breast cancer until what age? 30?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
No,
yeah.
I think it's right. No, my doctor's like, oh no, it's not time for I would think around like 35, 40. I could be wrong if somebody knows. But it's further up in age.
It's older, and so
like
but it changes.
40 or 50.
Maybe you have a family history.
Because I'd be like, check me, please. See what's going on. Maybe it's just
you're supposed to get a breast exam when you go in for your yearly exam. Well, it's not. I don't think there's yearly anymore.
The annual?
I know they do it like every 2. They say you can do it 2 years.
Every 2 years now? Oh, they want you to catch something and just be out here just.
Well, the thing is,
why would they tell you every 2 years?
The issues that are going to be aggressive enough to cause cancer that will kill you, they happen sooner, and they're more aggressive, so they would have picked up on them. And so it's not that they're just saying, oh, everyone just come in 2 years. It may be, oh, you've come for the last 4 years, you haven't had any issues, so we'll see you in 2 years from now. Obviously, if you start having any issues, then you would come back sooner. Right. But then that's just, you don't want to have everyone coming in. At this point, it's just kind of wasting money and time. So
yeah.
I get what they're saying, and I mean, it kind of makes some sense. But,
okay.
Yeah.
I still get it.
I just be trying to.
Well, because I have a history of miscarriages.
Yeah.
So a lot of mine. Then I've had where they've seen polyps on my ovaries when I was like 24, 25. It's like kind of what they see with cancer. No, it's like kind of. It depends. They don't know. They see them. They take scrape, do a biopsy, let you know. Oh, it's fine or it's not. And I've been all right for the most part, but so I still have to go for that reason. But yeah, I do self stuff, and because my dad's, like I said, my dad's cancer was after the fact. They don't feel like I'm like at risk for it. So, and then my grandmother, like I said, it was pancreatic cancer, and that's apparently they never found that until it's too late. So they told me like it wasn't necessary for me to get, because I was pregnant when she got diagnosed. I was pregnant with Peyton, and I was scared then because I was like, oh my God, what if I have it? What if my baby get it? And they were like, don't worry about it. Like, this is all lifestyle cancers is what they kind of put it to me as.
I think it's just kind of knowing your body and being comfortable knowing if something is wrong or abnormal, that you are advocating for yourself and getting in to have those checkups done.
Talk about that all the time.
But also knowing that I think sometimes we have this false sense of security that doctors know everything. And so
we trust in them.
Well, they've gone to school, and I tell my students this all the time. So you don't know if the person that you're C's get degrees. You don't know if the person that you're talking to was the straight A student or the C student. At the end of the day, they all got a degree.
You'd be like, are you the C student?
It's true.
Well, I'm just saying. And so,
what was your grade?
That's
like,
something
baby?
to think about. But then also that they call it practice in medicine. They don't call it practice in medicine for no reason. Like, it's a reason they call it that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so don't let anyone tell you that the symptoms that you are feeling are not real.
I know, that's a word. That's a word right there.
When you are going in and you're explaining what's going on with your own body, you know what's going on with your body. And I hear this all the time. You know, I went in to see this doctor and I told them this was happening. They were like, oh, you're too young. There's no way it could be this and that. And so I just let it ride. And then I was still having the symptoms and the symptoms started getting worse.
That's my cousin.
And it's just kind of like, yeah, but you're having the symptoms. Like, you know, if you don't like this opinion, go get another one. Like, it's not the only person.
Third,
I literally,
Yeah.
we had this conversation the last episode. I have changed primary doctors. This is my third one. And then, baby, the third one is the charm, honey, because I kind of want your opinion on this, too. I do feel like there could be some racial bias sometimes when you go to doctors. Now, I'm not saying it for you, but being in an environment where if I come to you and I tell you, hey, this is what's been going on, it's been going on for this long, and, oh, it's just this, or, and a lot of the times they've been tied it to, like, oh, it's probably just this, or you just change your diet, and a lot of the times they throw it at it because it's like, I've been pregnant. I've literally been pregnant or breastfeeding for like 4 years now. So a lot of it is like, oh, it's just hormonal. It's the longest break I've had these past few months when I'm not breastfeeding or pregnant. So when they say that, it's like, I feel like I get pushed off. I get rejected. I found one doctor where, like I said, because of like, I was having a lot of stomach pains. It wasn't my stomach. It was my gallbladder. I didn't even know where the gallbladder was. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was where the kidney was or something. But he was the one that was like, do this, do this, do this, do this. Go here, do that, and set up the surgery to get it removed. After the gallbladder removal surgery, I kept having issues. Stomach was still hurting. Couldn't eat anything. My first doctor was like, "Oh, you just need to." She told me don't eat nothing. Like don't eat spinach. Don't eat asparagus. Don't eat avocado. Don't eat garlic. I'm like, that's everything I eat. Like, go to another doctor. No. You need to eat those things. You need to get it going. You need this. What you do have though is celiac disease, which I found out was a gluten intolerance. He said, this is why you keep getting sick. Remove gluten, started eating healthy again, damn near healed myself. Yeah. And he did that because he ordered the test to get the things tested to see exactly what was going on. And she just kind of pushed me away, changed the diet, and I was like, and yes, my new doctor is a black male.
Awesome. So, Melanie, I would love for you to introduce yourself. Tell us about you as a sacred space facilitator. I would love to hear more,
sexy.
And for you to, she's sexy. Y'all have social media.
Y'all gonna look at her for real.
She be giving it to you, okay?
Yes, so I am a sacred space facilitator, and really what that means is I am passionate about creating spaces for people to experience healing and to become more acquainted with themselves, because we live in a society where people are chronically disconnected from themselves and just really don't feel as though and don't sense that they have spaces where they can just be themselves, and to be able to really tune into healing without shame, and in a space where they feel comfortable. And so I like to create those spaces. And so Yoga in Color is one space where I do that for men and women of color, or men and women of the global majority. This is another way to say that.
Oh, I like that.
AKA melanated.
Melanated, yes. Melanin. And then Sacred Feminine Yoga, which is what y'all were just talking about.
Can I record that? Y'all gonna see me in Sacred Feminine Yoga. Y'all gonna see it. I don't even know what I'm gonna be doing, but I'm gonna be in it.
Honey,
You're gonna be doing it.
Pennies, beads.
Yes.
Look.
I'm gonna give me some waist beads. You got some waist beads?
Where did you?
I mean, I don't sell them.
Where did you get them from? What's her name?
Fatima, no?
Oh, Fatima made yours?
No. So her name is Fatima. She's actually based in Georgia. And I swear by her. I just love her energy, and I feel her energy when I wear the beads. So I swear by
Fatima?
I swear by Fatima. Waist Beads by Fatu is her Instagram. But so yeah, Sacred Feminine Yoga is a sacred space for women to really tune into embodying their sensual energy, again, without shame, without judgment, and in a space where they're surrounded by women who are supporting them in doing that. So yeah, it gets real sexy and real sensual in there, but that energy is also healing. So in addition to actually those physical sacred spaces that I facilitate, I do have physical products. I'm wearing one right now, my Full Ass Human.
Full.
Can you explain to us what is a
Tell me,
full
what
ass
is a full ass
human?
human?
Oh, y'all told me
What
not to
is-
look over here.
Look over there.
So Full Ass Human. Full Ass Human is really a movement and a declaration about, normalizing being human. Yet another thing that is we're taught to reject. We're taught to suppress, feelings and being okay with
Unbothered.
Yes, being okay with those sadness and grief and having contradicting ideas. Like there's so many things about being human that is directly related to growing our person and our spirit. And when we live in a society that tells us that, well, if you feel that, just go take a pill, or if you feel that, go drink something, if you feel that, go have sex, or if you feel that, and we have no idea how to be
You're not working
with
through it.
ourselves. And also, Full Ass Human came from, I had posted some Instagram stories about me at the strip club, because I enjoy going to the strip club.
Oh,
Strip
she
club
does
is
too. She enjoys the booty club.
I enjoy.
The shoe show, whatever you want to
Shout out
call
to
it.
the sex
You
workers.
know what I'm saying? Right?
Shout out to
Exactly.
them.
And someone came in my DMs like, this is your business page, like take that down. And I was like, but nah. And I did a whole rant about like, I'm a full ass human. Yes, I'm in here meditating, breathing, teaching yoga, doing all the things, and I cuss, and I go to the strip club, and I like to shake my own ass.
I love it.
Just people have their own judgments of what a woke, enlightened yoga
How you
instructor-
supposed
how
to
I'm
be, how you're supposed to
and
be
it's like,
perceived.
nah,
You can't mold me, boo.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm multidimensional.
They have a thing that there's
Yeah.
like a meme that I seen. It was like, I burn sage and I twerk. I eat chicken wings and fruit. It's like you kind of let people find their balance and what makes them them.
Let people be a
Right.
full ass human.
That part.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Or
what
not.
full ass human is.
Whatever y'all want to
I
be.
love it.
I'm gonna be a full one though.
So what about your cards? Can you tell me more about those? I thought you was going to bring them. I just...
Yes.
Y'all, these cards they told me my life
That probably would've been
in
a
20 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. She was red. She was red.
I was
So is this
red.
like a tarot
So it's not
card?
tarot.
Tarot.
Tarot is different. So you have
Okay.
tarot, which kind of the images and things that you see on the card are predetermined. Like every tarot deck is going to be pretty similar with what the cards are telling you, just depending on the energy of the person. You'll have a different kind of reading. So then there's like an oracle deck. An oracle deck is really, it can be cards with affirmations or a message on there that really allow you to kind of intuitively interpret the message for yourself. You don't need someone to be reading the cards for you. Does that make
okay.
sense?
Yeah.
So
Like,
that card read.
I mean, you
me
can
too.
do self-tarot readings, but the card read her for Phil. So essentially,
I need you to read me for Phil.
No,
and
that's
for Will.
it.
You. That's the thing is
All
that
of
you pick the card.
You pick it.
We
It's you.
shuffled, and then she was like, "Okay, pick a card." And in my mind, I'm like, I didn't know what was gonna be in the card. I thought it was gonna say like, "You'll be a happy individual forever" or something like that. Child read that card. I was like,
yeah.
What did it say?
"Excuse you, I'm not sharing with y'all what it
Because
said."
it's a mix of the card deck is a mix
wanna know.
of affirmations and insights that were authored by me. Because
I was about to
they're
ask
very
that.
much. The insights and the affirmations are literally a result of things that I've written down in my journal, notes that
That
I've written
is,
down, things
like,
that. So it's,
Phenomenal. Really?
yeah, and
Because I was about to
essentially-
say, because it had your name on it, but I was like, maybe you... I don't know if you create... I need to be read. I
They
need
have a
to...
Florida
yeah.
water on me. And everything.
Yeah,
come
like
on, baby,
you can do.
together.
You can do. I
She's
share
saying
with people how to do a whole ritual around it, but essentially, you are just pulling the card that you need in that moment. The message is for you, and so it's you. I'll sit
it was
with you
my
and do a
energy.
ritual, but it's you.
It was definitely my energy.
So I'm not doing the reading. You're
This-
essentially reading your damn self.
Yeah, because I had a tarot card reading right before the Summer Walker concert on Halloween, and it was my first time ever doing it because I'm super scared because I've always been told it's evil, it's
You was raised in the
witchcraft, and so I was like, oh no, because in New Orleans I've been approached a few times when I visited there, and so just getting my reading, she actually picked the cards, explained everything to me because I didn't know, although she gave me some insight that was very connected to where I was in that moment. I was just like, wow. But from what you're saying, I would love to compare that to your cards and your reading to see like where I was previously to where I am currently, and to see if it has any connection with one another. But yeah, have you ever had a tarot?
I've never had a tarot.
It's scary.
I'm kind of like,
I mean, just when you have that background, like
yeah, when you have a background that tells you that it's scary,
it's gonna be scary, right?
That's why when I pulled that card, I was just kind of like.
But it be some real stuff. I want to do another one.
What do you know about me?
Like,
sent you?
You've never had one? Honey, it'll manifest some
members
stuff.
of the Greater Mount Zion
I'm a member of St. Mary's Baptist Church. I don't go often, but I'm Christian.
Oh, you do that too at the church. I just thought about that.
You do what?
You do the kids thing.
Children's church?
Well, I was doing that, yeah, until the last semester of my doctorate program, and I'm like, it was a bit too much, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had to step down for a few minutes.
Wow.
I want to know from both of y'all, what led y'all to where y'all are in your lives? What led you to nursing, and what led you to be a sacred space facilitator?
You want to go? Go ahead. So for me, when I was in the 3rd grade, my grandfather had both of his legs amputated above the knee. Because he had diabetes, and so he ended up having to come and stay with us. And I remembered he had a nurse, her name was Sharon, that used to come by to take care of him. And when she wasn't there, he was always asking for like, where is Sharon? Where she is? When's she coming back? And I just remember when she was there, he was always so happy, and she just took really good care of him. And so as a child, being super impressionable, I was just like, I don't know what this lady is doing, but like that's what I want to do when I grow up. And so I literally in elementary school was like, I'm gonna do that when I grow up.
That's amazing testimony.
And I look back now and laugh though, because she probably was giving him pain medicine.
Sharon right now.
I'm ready to take a nap. Bring Sharon, honey.
Where is Sharon at?
It's time for my next pills. Bring her in here. But no, seriously, she took really good care of him. So
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Where do you start?
I don't know, where do I start? No, I'll keep it short and simple. But I think essentially, even with family members and friends, I had always been in a helping role where I was the listener, where I was holding space, even before I knew what that was. And in my professional career, I have a background with case management for families and individuals who are severely mentally ill and chemically dependent. And so there's always been a part of me that's like, wow, I just would like you to experience healing. Like, I just want you to be well. That's just me and my spirit. So as time went on, I had my own yoga practice, and so then I decided to become, a yoga instructor, as well as, getting a life coaching certification. All of these things that could really help me to be with a person deeply and to help them see themselves on different dimensions. And so it's kind of led me here. And I think, but essentially my own journey with being completely disconnected from my body and from myself, tons of inner turmoil and all of that stuff, my journey through working with that, then I was inspired to be who I didn't have for other people.
I like that.
But also I was led, so people call it God, people call it whatever, I call it spirit, universe. I was led, so this is why you went through this, so you need to then accept what I'm calling you to do, and that's what you need to do. And when I said yes is when I kind of really started being very intentional about where I am right now, doing what I do.
I love that.
Intentional with life, your purpose,
everything.
Yes, intentional. Period. Well, I like intentional.
Period.
Yeah.
Hashtag. So one of the main reasons why I wanted you both on, because I'm in that happy medium between the two of y'all, because I am. If you need medicine, take your medicine, because I do feel like there are some medicines that will cure what is going on with you. I am that person. But I also get nervous when people, because I feel like we're in a society where people are so dependent upon it that they don't want to healed. They just don't want to feel it anymore. And I know a lot of times medicine can numb it. Like you said, your grandpa wanted his.
The word is Sharon. Look.
I feel like sometimes we go through a phase where we just don't want to feel anything. We become numb, and then we lose ourselves. Like how you were saying, when we don't know who we are, without the titles, without the accomplishments or the accolades, we don't know who we are as a person. How do y'all feel the two of those work, or do you feel like the two of those work together? Modern medicine and spirituality.
That's a great question.
I think they go hand in hand for sure. Like you can't have one without the other. And when you decide to separate them out, then you start seeing where now our healthcare system has been focused so long on the medicine and pushing drugs and that kind of thing, that people are coming to the doctors going, fix me. And it's just kind of like, there's a whole lot of other stuff that should have been going on here. And I think we're just now getting to the point where they're like, okay, it's not just this, it's all of this. And so you're now starting to see like these wellness clinics pop up, and you're starting to see like, we do full body care, and this is holistic approach to everything. And so I think that the healthcare system is now finally realizing that no, you kind of need all of these things together. It's not just one or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the same thing. Even though I resonate more with, I really don't take, growing up, when I used to have cramps, I would just pop Advils, Advils. And so I've moved away from taking any kind of medicine, obviously, unless it's something like, well, I need this.
Right.
So I absolutely see a place for it, and would never say, well, you need to give that up completely or go off whatever it is completely. And what I will say is that, like you said, there is this idea of needing to be fixed that we, as a people have, but it's because it's perpetuated by Western medicine, period. And so I think that even though they can definitely go hand in hand, it does behoove all of us to just remember that it's not everything. Like, it's okay, and it's okay if you shift your perspective. I think it's just healthy for us to really keep having the conversation about shifting our perspective about that, because essentially we can heal ourselves of a lot of things that we have been told that we cannot.
I know, that's right.
And I think that's the thing, just knowing that you have the ability to at least not be dependent on going to the doctor, not being dependent on thinking that someone else has the answer for you without even attempting to, try yourself. But a lot of times, it's when it comes to health, we are disempowered. We feel disempowered, like we don't know what to do, or there's too many options of how to figure out what kind of diet and all these kinds of things. And so what happens is you're just like, well, look, I'm just going to go to the doctor, and then they can give me the pill, and I'm done.
And whatever they say, I'm
going to do, because it's more of just coming from a disempowered place, and not knowing, and then also being overwhelmed by what you're hearing as far as what you can do to be well.
And doctors don't really want, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't really think doctors want to see us that
they don't
often.
Want you to,
like, I feel like they really do.
You don't think so?
I was about to say they don't want to see you healed. That's the money, honey.
Well, that ain't the doctors, that's the pharmaceutical companies.
That's all of them. If you don't come in and see me, I'm not getting paid. If you ain't sick and eat these pills, pharmaceuticals ain't getting paid. Like, and if you down to the funeral homes, if you don't die, I ain't gonna get paid. Like, that's more of a conspiracy thing, but I've looked into multiple things, you know what I'm saying? But they don't want you to be healed. That's why they give you shit. They give you stuff to suppress what's really, the problem.
But I think that's why they do that, though. They want to get you to the point to where, like I said, and I'm gonna speak from emergency medicine point, because like I literally was in the emergency room for 2.5, almost 3 years. So I know a lot of it is like, okay, if you're in pain, let me help you with something that can subside, can help with the pain for the time being, but you need to see a doctor, because there's a possibility it could be this. We didn't run all these blood tests. We didn't do all these x-rays. We didn't do all these MRIs. You may need to get this done to see if it's something deeper. I feel like as a society that we stop at the spot to where it's like, hey, I don't feel any more pain. Keep giving me an answer, the pain can stop. A lot of people don't want to be healed. I'm not going to put it on the doctors. I'm going to say, in the society that we live in, especially here in America, a lot of people get off on attention. And a lot of times the only attention they can get is from being sick. And from
I was gonna say they're lazy. Like they don't want to lose the weight. They don't want to eat healthy and be mindful of what they're putting in their body. So I'm gonna keep eating and drinking and putting these unhealthy things in my body.
And then be mad because the doctor don't want to
put the medicine in there to suppress it versus like getting off of these medications and doing the necessary work to completely heal myself, because it's all about what you put in your body.
It is.
And so a lot of us are lazy.
Let me give a shout out to my mama, because my mama is one of these people that we're actually talking right now. My mother no longer has to take diabetes medication.
I know, that's right.
And
that's great.
Through me, because I ain't never seen my mama do a jog or a sprint or
She been working out? What did she do?
No, she just started eating better. And
It's
so
all about what
she
you
told
put
me,
in
she's
your
like, I don't
body.
have to take blood. It was the blood pressure medication last year. She stopped that. And now they were like, and she's only taking the pill. Like, she's never had to get like the insulin or anything like that. But to see that she's this far, it blew my mind, because I'm like, oh my God, because they tell you can't get rid of diabetes, right? They tell you can't get rid of diabetes.
Can't get rid of diabetes, cancer, not cancer, but it's hard to battle those things.
Well, I will say this. So, I don't know how many years ago this was, but our church had Daniel fast that we all had to do. And so it's kind of a vegan diet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember doing it, and we were going to go for 40 days. And like 20 days into it, I had lost like 20 pounds. And I was like, this is a lot. Okay. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, though, everyone goes, oh my God, you look great. What are you doing? I was like, don't look at me. Yeah, now. And so my dad and my stepmom ended up starting to do the Daniel fast as well. Well, about 20 days into it, my dad calls me and goes, well, I went to my doctor this morning and they took me off my blood pressure medication, my diabetes medication.
That's
and I
amazing.
literally, and so again, I mean, what can you say to that? Like, it
is what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's clear.
It's
I
all
think it's
about
a
what
lot
you're
to
putting in
do
your body,
the
period.
stuff that we eat.
Although you
For
question
sure.
the stuff
That's
that's
why
supposed
I
to be
say they
healthy
kind of
as
go hand in
well.
hand. That's why I say, like, what you're saying and what you're saying goes hand in hand.
I think, and I am a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and I'm totally fine with that.
We're both.
I think when I think bigger picture, definitely it pays for us to be sick.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So,
yes, it does.
and
That's
that
what
does
we
trickle down. Obviously, not every single doctor, wants to be a part of that agenda, just like every single cop doesn't want to kill black people. You know what I mean? Like, we don't, we don't want to work in generalizations like that.
Right.
However, that does play a role in what we humans think about health. Well, what we Westerners, I guess, think about health and what that looks like. And then I did want to say that I wouldn't even say that people are lazy. I would just say that people are overwhelmed and undereducated.
Undereducated.
When you're overwhelmed, just think about it. Think about something like when you're overwhelmed with shit. It's just like, okay, do you get so overwhelmed and you're like, well, I'm really gonna go for it,
No,
or
I
do
do
sometimes
nothing.
you get overwhelmed and you just like, look, I can't
I'll do it another day.
I can't
Balance
even
it.
do. I
It's
can't do
hard.
anything. Right. Exactly. Oh, I'll worry about that another day. Well, I'll start that next week because So it's like that overwhelm with, again, just not knowing, or there's so many options, and when you go to the doctor, you do feel like a patient. And that's not, and I mean that in a negative way. You do feel like a patient of like, yeah, we've got other appointments. You go in, you
'Cause they be
try
there
to tell
quick,
them, and then
like-
you go out, and it's
Yes.
you just don't feel supported. A lot of people, I think, I've sensed, don't feel supported when it comes to health and healing. Hence, sacred space. I mean, obviously, I don't necessarily work with people who are physically. I'm not a doctor, but we really are a society of a culture of people who just are chronically unsupported when it comes to wanting to do better and be better. And so I just think, I think there's just certain language like lazy, and it's not saying, I mean, there are some people just lazy.
I think I'm going based off of what I've
What
seen
you
in my
experienced in your life,
family,
yeah.
and then with just people I know, like it's more about being lazy. Like I don't want to get up and run.
My
I don't want to go
right
work
now still
out.
walks
Like
2 miles a day. Like he gets up every single morning. Unless it's
Like-
raining, he gets up every single morning and walks 2 miles. And like I think Portia was like, I saw your dad walking. And
in
someone was
Mueller, I'm like, is that your daddy?
I tried to give him a ride, and he'll because that's his exercise. Because when he got diagnosed, he made it a point to say, I'm not going to get rid of this. I don't want it to come back. And
Right.
and my dad is really hands-on with being a grandfather. He loves being a father, so he has even more of a reason to do it. So he does what he know he needs to do. That's why, like, you are right though, because he was undereducated, because he did not know that, hey, if you do X, Y, Z and you stop doing this, then here are the outcomes. He's been living his life for 50, 60 years doing the same way without any issues. So who's to say what we're doing wrong now? Now, when they did find the cancer, and in me especially, I was like, no, you're going to change, because I got 2 kids now. I need you around for at least another 20 years so you can help me with them, because that's just what you go through. But I feel like I strongly believe in taking care of each other.
Yes.
I strongly believe
Holding
in taking
people
care of each other.
accountable as well.
I strongly believe in accountability, and I strongly believe in being able to. I had my dad's and my mother's doctor's appointments in my phone. So if they have they don't miss appointments, because I'm gonna tell you, your appointment is today. You're gonna go make sure that your sugar and your blood pressure and everything is okay. And last year every appointment they left, they've been, oh, you're fine. We don't have to see you again until next year. We don't have to see you again for 6 months, and that's perfectly fine. But I feel like having that community and having someone there essentially helps you heal as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that people do depend on their doctors a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I do think so. I think that people go to doctors as the end-all be-all. And you cannot get mad if you're not getting better, even when the doctor's telling you what to do, you decide to ignore it, and now you're mad. It's not the doctor's fault. You have to be accountable for what you do when you do it. Most of y'all are adults by age, so you know better, so do better. I can say by age. I ain't gonna say by actions, but by age, y'all are adults. Everybody on this here social media saying we can get on the Facebook, you can look us and stuff to figure out how to get better if you want to be better.
Right.
But that's just my spiel.
That makes me so happy your mom is off of.
Girl, that
I didn't know
life.
that.
She is.
That is great.
Both my parents are doing. I'm like, y'all got y'all 60s and y'all are crushing it. Here I am, my 30s, about to die.
Girl, and I'm like, hello? Are you all right over there? What's
Hey,
up?
my knees giving out, everything.
Girl,
Just,
that's
Jesus.
at 30.
That's at 30. 30 hit you hard.
30 hit you real hard. That video you posted,
30 is
it's something else.
30
You
hit you
sleep,
hard.
sleepy,
You
tired,
it's like you a
aching.
newborn all over again.
Honey.
But I think it's an important or interesting or intriguing, I don't know what word to use. When you hear stories of people saying, well, I healed myself from this, and then you ask them, like, well, what did you do? And they tell you, and you're just like really? Because
Yes.
I've had asthma since I was in the 8th grade, and I would have my, albuterol, Pro Air now. Shout out to the inhaler users. We out here, gang. No, but for a long, I use that inhaler almost every day. I use that inhaler all the time. It was almost like I felt like I needed to just have it all on me all the time. Well, then I started getting heavy into yoga, and please, let's understand that yoga is not just a physical practice, and I'm just going to talk about it really quickly for a second. A lot of yoga is breath, pranayama, and that's how I healed myself of asthma. Like,
Are
that
you
I had
serious?
learning how to breathe.
That
I
is,
haven't
like,
used that
mind-blowing.
inhaler. I have used it like recently because allergy things, but besides that, so to go from using an inhaler every day and then finding this practice where you learn how to breathe. People don't know how to breathe.
I've heard that.
People
before.
aren't breathing.
I have
What do
heard
you
that
mean
before.
by that? Like,
People don't know how to. I've heard.
I'm
that
breathing.
People, yep.
Like-
So you're breathing because your body is automatically saying, "I need to breathe," right? So you're taking a breath, but it's a shallow
It's
breath.
a shallow breath. Yeah.
And you're usually just breathing from like your chest area, which there's a general like rule, your chest breathing is a shallow breath, and when you breathe from here, when that's just the only way that you breathe, you're kind of over activating your sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight. So chronic stress, all of that, a lot of that has to do with not knowing how to fucking breathe and just breathing from a place that doesn't allow you to actually take a full breath. If you breathe from your damn belly,
like the singers when they sing,
breathe, use your diaphragm.
Yeah, I don't think people consciously.
I'm over here like,
Exactly.
I'm over here like, as she's talking, I'm like,
you're breathing like on autopilot because your body says, I need to breathe. But consciously breathing on purpose, that's a totally different way of breathing and
breathing
being.
on and with purpose.
and you're supposed to breathe in
on
through your mouth,
purpose.
out through your nose? Or am I saying that backwards?
I mean, you can in through your nose, out through your nose.
Oh,
really,
doesn't matter.
yeah, it does. It really doesn't matter.
okay.
Out-
You know, in
in through your
track they
nose
tell you a certain way to
and out
breathe.
through your
Yeah,
mouth is
exactly.
a very
That's what I mean.
cleansing breath. That's a breath that's good for like grief and pain.
What kind of is that?
In through your nose and out through your mouth. It's
Really?
like very cleansing.
How long do you hold it, or you just do it?
You can. Yes. Okay. Let's all
We could do it. 1, 2,
take a
3.
deep breath. Open your mouth. Take another one. One more.
I feel a little drunker.
Like I think I just maybe start
Wait a minute.
I got
a
oxygen
little-
going through your brain, like through your whole. You're breathing fully.
That was not
that what's
the
happening?
purpose.
You can feel if you had like a meditation session or even just a breath work session where you're breathing like that for just like 20 minutes, you'll come out there feeling like you done smoked some. Oh yeah, you yes, because you got oxygen going to your brain. It's opening. Yeah, girl. Oh no, you might come out your session feeling like, well, yeah, I'm not even playing with you. I'm not playing with you.
Really?
Bad.
So, what would you say for somebody that wants to begin, getting more in tune with their internal self and how you were speaking on like knowing your body and things like that? What would you say would be the beginning steps for that? Because I'm currently suffering from anxiety with my job and things like that, and just personal life.
Quit that job.
It's just
Well, that's a step.
I've been telling her
2
that for
weeks
like
I've been
almost a
suffering,
year.
like crying constantly and everything. So for somebody that wants to begin a different method of, tackling that in more of a sacred space, yoga form, what would you say would be the beginning steps there?
I would say the beginning steps is breathe.
Okay,
And I know that sounds like bullshit, but
no, you're right.
because I'm gonna tell you, when you start to, anxiety, I know that.
It's
I
bad
know
right
that
now,
as a
like-
lived reality. So I understand. I can empathize truly with that, and truly, I mean, I know, and a lot of what really has helped me and still helps me, because I still will have like random
Panic attack.
breath. Like, you have to breathe, because when you're in that space where you're having like an anxiety attack or something, you're not in your body. You're kind of everywhere else but
Girl.
right here, and your breath brings you right here. And I truly, that is my advice. If you want to just start, you don't worry about going to a yoga class or trying to do all these things or paying money to do anything. Just get some simple techniques of really paying attention to how to breathe. Then from there, you're going to notice like sensations in your body. Oh, well, I'm feeling like I'm getting anxious. Okay, so what's going on?
Yeah, because I want to be conscious of like, okay, there you go, girl, calm it down,
That's
figure it
what
out. I
your
want to
breath.
know my body more, because I'll just cry. Like,
Yep.
But there's
I'll
nothing
just-
wrong with that either.
but it's like, what else can I do, like, to fix it before I get to that point of being
That's
emotional?
probably what you need is that release. Honestly.
I don't want to do that.
That too.
I want to do something else.
I cry quick.
I do not like crying. Like, I'm a G. I don't like crying.
G's cry.
No, not this one. I don't
You
like
see?
it.
You
I do
see? I
not-
mean, that's why full ass human is a thing.
Yeah, I don't like to cry.
I will cry.
I will journal.
I drive down the street crying.
And I'm not the type of person that will really talk about my problems and like my deep feelings about maybe an issue or anything like that. I kind of keep it to myself. And so I feel like that's one thing that might cause anxiety. But like just figuring out how to problem solve within myself, and I guess the breathing could help, but the crying, it just feels like I I feel weak.
It just helped me. I don't know.
And
I should need to breathe all the time because I feel
so
phenomenal.
weak.
That's a perspective shift thing.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, that's breath will be cool, really, to just help you to get more conscious. But
Yeah.
your idea or your beliefs about crying would have to shift.
Yeah. Because I've learned in a professional development with my job, it's like if you breathe in, hold your breath. It's like when you hold your breath, you clear your mental.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hold it for like maybe 30 seconds to a minute,
Ooh, I can hold my breath.
and then breathe. No, you can. And then it's like your mind is so clear. And then you do that constantly. We learned it to like help our kids. It's a calming method for our kids.
That's
like
good.
breathe in, hold it, and it's like you're not thinking. Like you're not
thinking about your issues. You're just
you're just letting everything.
Peyton does that. She came home the other day and she told me that. She was like, "Mommy, let's do some yoga." And I was like,
What?
"Who taught you yoga?" She said, "Mommy." But I was like,
Okay, girlfriend.
yeah, I like their school. I love their school because they have people that
Have
come
them
in there. But yeah,
mindful.
she was doing tennis last week, so it's like I know that they're teaching her that. So that is actually a really good. She's 3 and she was.
I feel like that should be
Are you
placed in
okay,
school.
You need to breathe, mommy.
Like a moment
You
of
need to
mindfulness,
exercise.
or like in the morning meeting should be a time to like
Start off with
meditate and
yes.
just breathe. Like especially for kindergarten, which is what I teach. Like get in tune with yourself. Like calm
Start that
your
with your
body.
babies. Learn a good.
Our schedule does
not.
not permit,
You can cut out 10 minutes.
and then
And
I
you
might
don't even
get
need 10
dinged.
minutes.
Yeah, but you probably don't even need that long. You can cut out the first 5
I be
minutes.
turning on Kiel yoga. Build a rainbow. Yeah, let the rainbow go. Build the rainbow again. That don't work. They be thinking it's a brain break. No, I want you to be quiet and get in tune. So, but Melanie, for you, like, what would you, because we're kind of wrapping up, where can people find you, your services, things like that, being that you're locally in Austin?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to Yoga in Color. You still do that, right?
Yeah. Actually, the next Yoga in Color is November 20th, so that is this Wednesday. But the last one for the year is December 4th.
I booked a whole little twerks class for
You booked the
Wednesday.
twerk.
What time Wednesday?
7:30 to 8:45 p.m.
Make
But
it
like I
happen.
said, the last one of the year
You
is
go tell
December
me how it is, isn't it?
4th.
Okay.
So that's another one. But you can find me. My website is growyourlovespace.com.
And it's right there on the screen as well.
I haven't said Grow Your Love Space the whole time. That's funny. But growyourlovespace.com, because that's the name of my damn company. But yeah, and at Grow Your Love Space on Instagram. So definitely reach out either way.
And
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Doctor, Mrs. Doctor.
I don't want y'all to come see me because that means sick.
But you're gonna, so this clinic.
Please tell us. Married to medicine?
It is. So, one of my goals was to open a cancer survivorship and wellness clinic, and that's what I'm going to do. And so the opportunity came up right before I graduated to stay here and do that, because initially I was going to enroll into a different program, and I decided to just jump head first in there and try to get it done. So
I'll make sure my dad comes.
yeah,
That'd be dope.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all so awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, y'all, we kept y'all a little bit over time as always, because that's what we do, because we run our mouths. But
Juicy.
we
Some
had
good content.
it's a whole lot of good. Listen, if you didn't take something from this, you were not paying attention. Run it back and do it again, because if it can't help you, it can help somebody you know.
Right.
But it can mostly help you, because we all need a little bit of help.
Right.
But thank y'all so much for joining
Yes,
KMP.
thank you for joining us on this Monday night. We won't see you next week, so enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family. If you don't celebrate, just enjoy,
Enjoy the sales.
Well, I'm thinking about teachers. I'm about to say enjoy your time off.
No, because everybody not off, because we not
But
off.
we
teachers.
off. Enjoy that week off. Chill. Don't do no work. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy. But happy holidays to you all. And thank you once again
Thank
for
y'all so
joining
much.
us. It was
Sincerely.
so
Y'all are the
informal. I
dopest.
appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
definitely follow them. Share this post. Follow us on Instagram at KMP Presents, as well as these lovely ladies. So
y'all.
y'all have a great night. Peace.